Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I do hope that you've been enjoying it, and I do hope that you have been practicing and that you have started your first lot of Sketchbook Series pages. So today I'm going to do 10-minute drawings. 10-minute drawings are very, very good for one's hand-eye coordination and for accelerating your drawing experience. So you start off with 10 minutes. 10 minutes is very long, and you slowly reduce it. In the beginning, 10 minutes will seem extremely short. It doesn't matter how far you get with it, and I would advise that you don't try your best to get as much detail in as possible. All that you are doing is you are getting an idea or putting an idea into the viewer's head of what that subject is. So if we have a look at what we've done getting to know your materials, which was the first page, and then we did the second page, which is tonal values, and we then moved on to observation of your subject and rule of thirds. I would advise that you do use a fixative and you do put a thin layer over this work, as mine did transfer onto my pages, which I don't really like. It makes it look a bit dirty, but that's entirely up to you. So today, for our 10-minute drawing exercises, we are going to do a couple of simple subjects, and I would suggest that you try and keep it within what we were doing with regards to the negative, the very, very the very, very simple negative space drawings and subjects that we took. We had a chair. Well, we're not going to be drawing a chair today because we've already done that, but we did have a mushroom. Now this is one that I've picked out of the garden on the estate. You can go and pick whatever you like and draw whatever you prefer to draw. I have a very, very tiny little seedling from a blue gum tree, and here we have some blue gum. They obviously have died and they've fallen off, the flower part, and here we have very, very simple shapes of blue gum seed pods left over, or leaves. Even if you take one of these gorgeous leaves and you draw just the leaf, we are going to be drawing the outline. We're not going to be going into a huge amount of detail, although in 10 minutes, once you start getting your drawing skills going, one can add quite a bit of detail. Now the other thing I want to say is that my perspective of my pieces that I've chosen is very different to yours. You are looking at it from above, and I'm looking at it from a sort of side-on view. So let's get going. We choose our 2H, as I have said before. I always start with a 2H in most cases. And I'm going to be drawing this little guy here. So we're going to, I should really have a timer, shouldn't I? Okay, it's 9:05 according to my watch. So we will work until 1:15. So we're going to start up here. We're going to bring this beautiful little stem down, and as you can see, I am basically doing quite rough lines. All that I want is to get this little guy onto my piece of paper and make sure that I have the perspective of what I'm seeing going as well. So I need to draw the stem slightly longer, because if I look at the stem in comparison to my little seed pod end here, it is definitely longer. Now we can see that there's a light happening here, there's light happening there, and there's light happening on that side. Remember that we did go through that when we did observation and we did tonal values. So that is the top section. Just going to get that detail in. We've got a nice little shape happening here on this side. I'm still on my 2H pencil. I haven't changed. We've got a couple of little knobs on this side, and then this comes down, goes around and finishes off the back here. this is like a little cup, so we've got to make sure that we get that across to the viewer, that they can see that this is a little cup, and there's that light that shines on the edge of there. So this will be dark inside here, so we just shade that in. How many minutes have we been going for now? See, we've only been going for 2, and there is a lot that one can get in 2 minutes. So 10 minutes is a huge amount of time, and basically what I would suggest that you do is that you don't think about it. You just go straight into what you're doing. You can always correct it afterwards with your dark pencil once you start coming in to get those values, those beautiful values. So here I'm still going in. I've got some lovely sort of, what would you call them, ridges that are happening down the side here. So I want to extend that slightly. Get this shape going here, and get that shadow in on the side here, just to show that there is a little bit of depth there. Okay, now I'm going to move on to my 2B pencil just to get a bit more shadow in. I will be starting on this side of the stem, and we're basically just moving the pencil up and down. We're not using a huge amount of our hand or our wrist or anything here, which is because we are doing a little bit of detail now. We're just going to get that shadow in over there. And it comes up the side, and these wonderful marks have got shadow there. This top of this, it's got a fabulous shadow happening there, which is lighter. The top of the cup goes round, and then we can start filling in this shading on this side. Obviously the deeper the cup, so this area here for instance will be the darkest value, because that really is inside the cup, going down to the bottom, to the absolute depth of it. Let's get this going. So it's a little bit more organic looking. Keep going. Keep filling it in, making sure you don't go over that white space. Keep going. And I am now going to change to a darker degree of pencil. I'm going to go to my 5B, and I'm going to really put this dark in over here, which is at the base of it. Do gradually take this up, however, because remember, as I said to you, this will be the darkest part. Where you are looking inside. Around this edge here, this will be darker, and it gradually goes up into the lighter tone over here. So get a bit more of an angle there. Okay, then I'm going to go back in down here, because I do feel that there is a darker area here too, perhaps not quite as dark as what is in the inside the cup itself, but I just want to give a bit more definition. And here we're doing broken lines just to suggest that this has got texture on it. So as we were saying with observation, it's incredible when you start really seeing that your actual subject, when you really start understanding observation. It's incredible what you end up seeing. And there is just so much on this little cup that is quite staggering when you look at it and start really drawing and seeing all those different tones. Here I'm going to just do the outside here. There's a couple of little details here coming up the cup. And as you can see, I'm using quite squiggly lines, but that's deliberate so that I don't have complete and utter hard lines. You want something a little bit softer, so to get that organic feel and look. I also sometimes don't completely fill in an edge or complete a line. As you can see here, that is a broken line. There's a broken line here, and that's deliberate so that it makes it a whole lot more interesting for the brain to fill in and to take in. Okay, so now we are 8 minutes in, and as you can see, we've done a huge amount of detail. I am just going to crisp this edge up, crisp this up, just so that we, oops, I've gone into that little white area. I'm just going to take that out. Go back into here just to crisp up that area. We really want this to show depth on this side. And those are hard edges, whereas some of the other edges are softer. And just want to get a little bit more organic looking shape around the edge here. This is not completely straight around here. It does have broken sort of where the actual cup itself is broken. I imagine where the seed has come out. Right, so now we are 1 minute away from 10 minutes. We can just work up here on this edge. This is where you need to, if you have finished, you need to stop. I should really be stopping because I do feel that I have finished. And this is where you could actually ruin the drawing. But for intents of this video, I just want to see if I can get a little bit more depth there. And there we have our first 10-minute drawing. So as you can see, 10 minutes is quite a long time, and there's an awful lot of detail that you can put into a 10-minute drawing. So let's try 5 minutes and let's see what happens. So I'm going to remove this guy. I'm going to put my mushroom here. As I said, you will have a different perspective to what I am seeing, purely because you're looking at it from a different angle to what I am. I really want him to sit like that so that I have got this beautiful inside area here. And again, we're going to go in with our 2H just to get the outline. And you can see that there's a lovely curve here, goes up inside the mushroom. I'm hoping that you can see inside it. Let me turn it so that you can have a good look at what I'm seeing. So here's the lovely curve. It goes up and it goes inside the mushroom. There's that gorgeous delicate cap at the top. I don't know what these mushrooms are called, but they're all over the estate at a certain time of the year, and they really are truly stunning. So here we go. So I am going to set the clock. It's 9:16 or 9:17 should I say, and we are going to draw for 5 minutes. So we're going up the stem and basically look at your subject and keep your pencil going and look away. I'm going across the top here, and I'm coming down this side, and you can, there's some beautiful sort of peelings, if want of a better word, on this stem, and I want to get that detail in. Even though we're only doing this in 10 minutes, we can still get quite a lot of detail in. And that cup, that is just such a beautiful shape. I'm going to take it quite close. Yes, I have taken it quite close to this blue gum seed. But blue gum, but I want to do that because I want a couple of very, very organic drawings to happen next to each other. And you will practice, so you will go out, find your, even if it's a leaf, and see how quickly you can draw that leaf. So this edge is quite a messy edge, and that's what I'm trying to get here. Still using my 2H. All we want is the outline, and basically this is what the viewer is going to see. So the viewer already knows that this is a mushroom, obviously, and we are just going to get in some of those details down the stem. So lovely about this stem is that it's got gorgeous little scrolly things all over it. And we are going to get that in. And we have this sort of thing happening down the side here. So use your artistic license and put in a lot of what you want to see. This is about you. This is about your drawing, and you want to make sure that it shows your personality. Right, so that is the 2H, and now I'm going to go back in, yes, you guessed it, with my 2B. I do work the gradients up, the degrees up. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a little bit more tonal value. Top here. Whoops, I've got ants running around all over the place. That's how organic this is that I am working with. This comes over here. Then I've got to cut. Goes across here. This is a beautiful edge. I do so love it. Around here, goes up here. And the one thing that I want to say to you is that try not to look at your watch all the time. Try not to look at your time all the time. Try to keep your drawing going as much as you possibly can without doing that. It doesn't matter if you go slightly over. It really, really doesn't matter. All that you are doing is trying to get your hand-eye coordination in, and the more you do this, you'll see naturally you will become much faster at each drawing. It's absolutely wonderful. It's a fantastic exercise, I have to say. So here we need to be careful because obviously this is darker up inside the end of the stem is a lot darker. However, because this is sitting in shade, we still need to get an idea of perspective that it is sitting inside there. So we're going to use our blender just to get that lighter tone in there. Remember how much graphite moves around, so you don't want to be putting down too much. It moves around a lot, and then we're going to use it down here just to quickly get a bit more of a shadow. This is not a cheat, this is still part of drawing. Just looking at the time here. Getting a few of these It's not lichen, this is actually part of the stem that is decayed. There's a couple of darker bits inside here. Right, that's it. We have basically reached our 5 minutes. Now, it doesn't have a huge amount of detail like we did in the 10-minute one. However, this 5-minute, if you were to do this exact same subject again and just try to put some bit more detail in, the faster you do it, then obviously the more organic it looks and your drawing will excel beyond your wildest dreams the more you practice this. Have a great time, everybody. Enjoy this, and I really do hope that you are getting your sketchbook series going.